Joe.
Yeah.
And then we need to add the swearing in and that type of thing.
Yeah, so I guess at the outset I have a question for you, Alex.
And I do have this recording, by the way.
Okay, sorry, and I have to say who's here and everything. Yes, okay. Still tired. Let's see. All right, so it's 8:33, and this is the mayor manager meeting of March the 9th. And in the Teams room right now is Linda Olson, Alex Dortek, Jade Truscott-Reed, Nathaniel Sierra, Stephanie Carlisle, and we're waiting on Shawn Lewis, who's about to, he just popped in. Yeah, good. All right, looks like we're all here. And we're recording, and okay, so I have a question for you, Alex, about this, and maybe you, Steph, I don't know which would know this, but so since Steve hasn't voted on things that were first reading, how do we handle that with second readings?
Typically,
go ahead.
Yeah, typically if someone doesn't vote on the first reading, then they should abstain from voting on the second reading. There's not a hard, fast rule in our code or in our charter, but that's usually the way it's handled.
Okay. Well, I guess that doesn't really change anything then. It's not does it get counted as a no vote?
No, it would be an abstention. In the same way that someone may recuse themselves from voting if they had a personal interest or something like that. So it kind of gets counted as nothing.
Okay.
So, I mean, the reality of the situation is that the net effect is that it doesn't really change how many votes you need to pass, because if you have 6 voters, you need 4 to pass. If you have 7, you need 4 to pass.
All right.
You just wouldn't want a situation where he's the 4th vote.
Right. So I guess there's a number of reasons why I'm asking it, partly to understand, but secondly, we have this on the agenda. We have a second reading that probably would go into consent because we had, all of us the first round, but not him. So do we just leave that in consent, and would he?
You can leave that in consent, and he can. I would encourage him, although I wouldn't. It's not a legal rule to just abstain, because a 6-0 is no different than a 7-0.
Yeah. Okay.
And so it's just cleaner if you don't have someone voting on a second reading who didn't vote on the first reading.
Okay. Great. That's helpful. Thanks. That helps on all of this to know. It doesn't change anything with the agenda of how we go at it, but it does help. All right. Do you want to?
Are you ready to start on the 15th?
Yeah,
Great.
Go ahead.
So we have a couple of study session items on the budget basics, fund overview, 2020 budget cycle preview. This is also where I'm going to just briefly overview the project list that I've been talking to council about one-on-one with regard to spending the CARES Act carryover, the 2020 to 2021 carryover, and then some potential uses for the unassigned fund balance as well. I don't expect to get into a big discussion on that. I really just kind of want everyone to understand what the proposed costs are, so that we can have a subsequent conversation about that. And then we have a study session memo on the Downtown Development Authority appointments.
Yeah, that sounds great. So the budget one, so just for the record, Joe Anderson called me at 8 this morning so we could talk through his needing to be only partially at the meeting and trying to figure out how to order this. But we're going to have an agenda change by request at the beginning, regardless, so he can move up the second. But yeah, so he wanted to hear that in particular. So I think what he needs to do is to come to both of those, and then we'll start the regular business agenda items and then move up the one. So I think he was concerned that he would miss that the budget considerations, especially with unassigned fund balance. I think he has lots of ideas for that. So, but it is going to be briefer than the second time around. Is that what you're saying? It's just ideas that you're going to present, and then we'll come back at another study session with it?
Right.
Okay. Do we have a timeline where we have to make some of those decisions on by?
No, we don't necessarily. It's just that the later we get into the year, the harder it is to execute, particularly on those capital projects, to get RFPs and bids and contracts out,
Yeah.
et cetera.
Yeah, and before you know it, you're into 21. Okay, I mean 22. We are in 20.
Right.
All right, good.
And so will there, oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. Nathaniel, I think we're going to take time. I think the DDA is going to take longer than 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And remind me, does this meeting start at 5:30 or 6?
Yes,
5:30.
we agreed to that last night, which is wonderful. Well, I'll deserve the 29th off.
Okay, and then what was the order change you mentioned, Mayor?
I don't think there needs to be one for the study session. What needs to happen is that Joe's on vacation and is trying to limit the amount of time he's in our meeting.
Right.
And so we would be moving up the second reading for the PUD.
Great.
And that would just have to take how far up can that be moved?
We'll look at it. We'll get it as close to the top as possible, but I do still believe we need to swear in Steve Ward prior to even that. So we just need to work in that time frame as well. It shouldn't take long.
So the question was for me too was can it be moved up before consent agenda?
Yes, I believe so. Alex, do you?
There's no rule or law that says you can't do things in really any order you want.
Right. We still agenda it, and then it would just need to be a motion to move those agenda items up.
Right. Okay, good. That helps him plan if we know we can move it as far as up as before consent agendas. We have quite a few things on consent agenda, I think, don't we?
So would that's still after public comment?
Yeah,
And
Mayor,
again,
we would move it to the very beginning of the session after the swearing in.
And there's no problem with doing that legally.
Yeah, I would think just to limit the amount of time for Joe's vacation. I would think either I'm thinking we probably want to have the DDA discussion first, since he wants to be a part of that as well, and then have after that move the public hearing, the second reading of the public hearing.
He wants to be there for the budget discussion too. So the study session can be fully what we've already planned. And then it's just a matter of how far up can we move the second reading vote. That's all it is. And then we're done.
We will work to get that up as close together as possible, so we can update you on that.
And then maybe just inform him on where he can make a motion to move it to in order to get it where we think it's okay to do it.
Okay. Yeah, we can do.
I did want to touch base before we go too much further. Mayor, you said it would take more than 30 minutes to discuss the DDA.
I think we have such great candidates, but maybe it'll fall out easier than I think. But I think it's going to take 45 minutes.
I agree.
At least, yeah.
Thank you.
All right. So I think we mentioned the public hearing.
Yep.
Starting with motions, appointment of EAP and EMER board members. This is to both appoint as well as basically rescind my ability to do this, which was by my choice, and it was brought up at council recently. but I think it would be better for that to solely rest in council's authority. A resolution for enterprise fleet management. This is going to be, you can see this number is greatly reduced, 6 vehicles as more of a pilot program instead of kind of jumping in with, I think it was 30 that maybe we talked to you all about. So we're going to start a little smaller on this. First reading of ordinance for stormwater bond issuance. Very exciting. And then we have the PUD site development plan for Winslow Crane. And that's a second reading of South Huron Street right-of-way vacation. Second reading of right-of-way vacation of West Cornell. And then second reading of the Title VII care of animals change, and then an executive session regarding acquisition of property. So I think we've got timeframes on the study session items. Any questions on that?
Actually, I do have questions. Did we have to move up all these items as well? I don't think that was I just see the note there in terms of meeting date. Vote to move up.
Yes, so that was just a reminder that those second readings, those were what we were wanting to move up last time. Now it sounds like we might just only be moving the PUD, the 3 items instead of the 4.
I was gonna say, yeah, the 3, I would say the way that I'm understanding it would be the 3 public hearing items that we would move.
And didn't the care of animals pass unanimously? So could it be on consent?
It is. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the only one on consent now, I realize. I just had read this wrong. Okay. Yeah, you're right, Daniel. So the 3 related to the Winslow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, I suppose we could put the enterprise fleet management on consent if you wanted to.
Could
There
put
wasn't
what?
really opposition to that. But
Put what on?
the enterprise fleet management for the 6 vehicles, but just a thought.
I thought there was a disagreement on that one.
Oh, maybe there was.
I thought there was. I thought member Russell. I can't recall if it was just like concerns or just additional information. So
Yeah. Okay. All right, moving down to the next meeting, the 22nd of March. We have, this is a study session, so we'll have discussion regarding potential sale of city properties. This is related to our fire facilities. Study session, they're all study sessions, monthly financial update, unified development code, assessment report presentation, Malley Trust Fund expenditure recommendations, City of Inglewood Sewer Connector District's rate analysis, customer assistance program, and utility billing update. And that's monthly billing.
That's a lot.
Yes.
Are we missing anything? I'm just thinking out loud. We're not missing anything, are we, that we asked to have?
Mayor, one thing we could do to free up some time above, since we're doing the monthly financial update at this meeting, we could also do that budget calendar overview at this meeting if you wanted to have a little more time for the list discussion, the expenditure discussion. I say, oh yeah, I'll just be presenting just so you know, but there may be quite a bit of discussion that people want to get into on that, but.
So you're adding to that one, is what you're saying?
Well, on the meeting above, that's what, when we were doing kind of to look at the budget cycle and make some decisions, or not make decisions, but just hear information about the budget process. That's when I was going to also add in the expenditure list for unassigned fund balance. What I'm saying is that I could we could do the overview of the budget process on the 22nd with the financial update.
Instead of 15th?
Yeah, right, and have a little bit more time to discuss that expenditure list. You just mentioned that Joe was really wanted to be there for that discussion, so.
Yeah. Well, and if that's the case, then if all we do next week is the DDA, we don't have to start at 5:30.
Well, I would recommend that we go ahead and do the 5:30. What I'm saying is that we just push the budget overview process down to the 22nd, so we can spend all of the time talking about the list of expenditures on the 15th.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I was more worried about the 22nd and all the things on the study session than it was about the 15th. But if you think that it balances better in your mind,
well,
let's
it
figure
needs
out.
to be your choice on that. So let's just leave it for now as it is. And yeah, I'll talk to Jackie Lowe about that.
Well, let's go through the 22nd and figure out if we have time for it there. And if we do, this is a lot on it.
Yeah.
We have 8 items on it.
Right.
7, sorry, I can't count. It's too early. So can we take these one by one? The sale of the properties. It's a 15-minute overview. And then
Yes.
do we give direction?
Yes.
How
So it'll be
contentious?
the sale of Tejon Fire Station because we have an offer on that or a request to purchase. And then it'll be the Fire Training Center in Littleton, which we are a 25% owner of. They also want to buy us out.
And is that
Fire.
both these are going to come forward in this one area?
Yes.
All right. I would say it's going to be 30 minutes conversation. This is all new for people to sell property, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, Daniel. I'm guessing.
I'm kind of concerned that we're having this discussion as part of a study session instead of an executive session. Because my assumption here is that we're going to be talking figures.
No, we
No?
don't actually. I shouldn't use the term offer.
Okay.
It's they want to know basically if they can go through the time and effort of making an offer, because you may recall last year the same thing came up during your budget. During your council orientation, and I didn't realize this was such a hot button topic, and a majority of council said, we're not interested in selling it. So, but Councilmember Wink has asked it be put on the agenda. We've been being barraged by the striping company, American Striping Company. So I just need to be able to tell them council said no or council said yes, and let's move forward. And then the same with South Metro. They've been persistent for 2 years now. Why are you retaining ownership of this? You're not even using it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so it's just a discussion about whether or not we want to move forward. If we do want to move forward, then that would, well, I wouldn't say, but if we want to take it further, then it would be an executive session.
Possibly. I mean, if it was negotiations, but I don't think it could be. I don't think the discussion that I want to have with you all would be appropriate for executive session because we wouldn't be discussing negotiation of sale or purchase.
Well, this will be a good conversation to set the stage for this council. We've had it before, but yeah, I also would like to talk about when do we put something on the agenda. I mean, if we have somebody asking again, I thought these are not the same people that asked before.
It is the same.
But didn't we say no?
As I mentioned, it was during a discussion of council orientation. I was talking about properties that we own, and I just kind of mentioned in passing, and I had at least 2 council members in the meeting and 2 afterwards that told me we are not interested in that. So that's what I told American Striping. You just probably need to have an actual public discussion about it.
That makes sense. All right. So 20 to 30 minutes. I think one of them is going to be easier than the other. I don't know. Who knows? I cannot predict.
I would say 30 minutes, yeah, just to make
Okay.
sure.
Right.
By the way, Mayor, I have to jump off here in 7 minutes.
Okay. Yep. We might just get through the 22nd. Can wait. All right. What else? Monthly financials. You're talking about. Should we skip over that one and go to UDC because we don't know how much time we're talking about here, and then come back to the financials and see whether or not we move some of the 15th down or.
Sure.
So there's a 40-minute presentation.
Yeah, I'm just seeing that. I can't imagine that that's correct. Surely he means 40 minutes for the whole thing.
I can reach out and clarify today.
We can't hear you, Jade.
I can reach out and clarify today.
Okay.
All right.
And this is just a public assessment, so, yeah, like the
Which
survey
means-
and things like that.
So it's just a presentation of that information, and then is this just informational?
I thought so.
Okay, well, why don't you all clarify? Then the Mally. That one should go quicker, shouldn't it?
Yes.
I thought, yeah, for some reason I thought this was earlier, but I guess that would just be the 15th. Okay. That should maybe take 10 minutes of discussion, maybe, right?
Mm-hmm.
And sewer connector districts. A 20-minute presentation. We're giving direction, right?
I can't remember. Jade, we might want to add that to our.
Yes, let me check in on this guy. It should be on the form that was submitted. Sorry, that was missed.
So this is just for connector districts then.
Mm-hmm.
This is always very based on.
You know what? It is. I'm sorry. I'm now remembering.
So how long? So what's the purpose again?
I think
So
the last time they were just going to come back to us with a better structure, right? Because there was no rhyme or reason for, I guess I shouldn't say it that way, but there was a lot of confusion in terms of how some outside connector districts are being charged. And I think there was going to be a way to smooth it out.
And I apologize, this was actually submitted prior to updating my form. So on the form, it doesn't say if it goes for direction or information, but I will reach out today and get that information from them.
Okay. Yeah, I do think that this council might want to ask a lot about this because this is one area that we get questions and we'll need to understand it better.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say at least 30 minutes. What do you think, Nathaniel?
Yeah, potentially. I think the 20-minute presentation seems a little long, but.
Yeah, we can get that down and trust that people read it.
Right.
I know it's important for the public to hear these too, so, but if they can do it in 15 minutes.
I'm looking at the next one and I'm thinking that one's going to take a while. So I'm already ahead.
The customer assistant?
I'm worried about the time.
You're talking about the customers.
Yeah.
Customers.
Yeah, you all have already given a lot of direction on this one. So I don't think it's going to take that long.
I guess the reason why I'm thinking it might take time is just the financial consideration on it, because we asked for, whether it was 150% or 200%. I think we asked for a lot of different levels.
Yeah, you're right. Well, yeah, I think most people are for this, really want it to happen. Just now what the financial implications are, right?
Right.
If we have some good, plan A, B, C type things, I think will help. So what, 20-minute discussion?
Yeah, that's fine. I'm glad it's back on the agenda, so.
I'm sorry.
I'm glad it's back on the agenda. I've been looking forward to speaking about it. Good. Utility monthly billing.
What is that?
We're just moving up billing starting April 1st.
Right.
Well, we're allowing it, so. Is there any direction that you need from us on this one, Shawn?
I don't remember what the update's for. I mean, yes, we're going to monthly billing and it is a big deal. But I don't remember what the discussion's for.
I think it was just that when I talked with Brenda, it was just an informational update to let you guys be aware that the monthly billing was coming up. So just information.
I can talk to Peter on whether or not we can do this as like an informational memo as opposed to an item on your agenda.
Yeah, if he's trying to use it as a way to get the word out and to just one more place of public kind of reminder, that's fine with me because I think people might get surprised. If that's what he's intending with this, it would be nice for him to know how they're going to handle, questions and complaints or surprises when people didn't realize this was happening.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that would be, if it's a 10-minute presentation, 10-minute discussion, maybe. And if he thinks the informational memo is fine, it just depends on what he's trying to use this for.
Okay.
Nathaniel, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't expect much discussion on this one.
Okay. So how do these add up? Maybe 1 hour.
About 3 hours.
Yeah. I think what we just need to figure out is that UDC one, what that really is. How much time they think. Okay, so are we okay with that day and then how would the finance thing be influenced by that?
How would finance be?
Yeah, the monthly finance update. We talked about you adding things in there.
I think if I can rescind my suggestion, we'll try to do both on the 15th.
Okay. All right, then we're done with the 22nd, except for the UDC. We need more info on that one.
Right.
We can get that by next week. So.
Okay.
Nathaniel, you need to go, don't you?
Yeah, I'm gonna jump.
Should we go ahead?
Have
Should we
a
look
great day,
at
everyone.
April?
You
All right,
too.
you too.
Bye.
Should we just look at April just to see how we're doing?
Sure. So we
Is-
have the.
Is the historic preservation, is that just to give us an update on their stuff? We don't have an item to talk about the plaques or anything yet?
No, actually, they do have a topic, and I believe it is the permitting process, historic overlay.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that that's likely gonna be pushed out. I can't say that for sure because it's not my decision to make, but based on conversations with the Preservation Commission, I don't think that will be ready on April 5th.
Good to know. Jade, did they not put a description on this?
No, this was one that was added at one of the previous meetings, and I still haven't had any more information come through, but I'll definitely reach out this week and get more information.
Yeah, I would say unless it's something like an Arbor Day proclamation, that if they don't have a description, it doesn't make it onto this list. But just a suggestion.
Yeah, will do.
They've done this so many times that I can't imagine this wouldn't be hard to put together. But the tree climbing presentation, that's new. Who's climbing trees?
Where are you?
The description for the Arbor Day.
Oh. tree climbing.
I believe, from my understanding, I believe this is a presentation that they do for the schools, but I could be incorrect with that. So I can reach out
I'm
and get.
really curious now, so I want to hear about tree climbing because it was my favorite activity as a kid.
I can get that information for you.
Okay.
Okay. Well, okay, so we already mentioned Preservation Commission, and then preliminary 2022 revenue and expenditure forecast, review the proclamation for Arbor Day, Jason Park Amenity Improvements Grant, and approval of modifications to strategic plan. This is going to be very routine. Although this is also where we will present add the things that you did at council retreat, which was a lot of modifications. And then renewal of AEC West contract, electronic records and information management system RFP approval. And that's because that one's over 100,000, so it comes to council. Resolution appointing members to the Downtown Development Authority. Approval of 2021-2022 sustainability plan. National Fitness Campaign Fitness Court Grant. Deering Company purchase for surf replacement units. Surf purchase 2 units and purchase of 6 units and lots of surf. And light duty truck surf purchase. 2021 sodium hypochlorite bulk chemical purchase for Allen. And then, then aluminum sulfate purchase. First reading, vacation right-of-way, Alpine Ordinance. Are we still? My goodness, we thought the last one was long. Ordinance for stormwater bond issuance, executive session for sale of property.
So a lot of the items moved from the 15th to this meeting due to some contracts that still needed to be reviewed. So that's why this list feels longer than it did last week. So.
Well, the good news is, Mayor, a lot of the purchases I would assume would be under consent, the vehicle purchases, and probably the chemicals too. These are annual purchases.
Yeah, we have what? How many on there then? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And the records management contract will be in conjunction with the budget supplemental. So I don't know when that's planning to come forward. So that may move as well.
Yes, you're correct. But
And
I don't know where the budget supplemental is. I don't know if we've added that to this list yet.
Well, and the Jason Park grant, that's for that's an application for it that we need to approve, a motion to approve it. Did we receive it?
It's to apply for the grant.
That is for the National Fitness Campaign? Or which one, Mayor?
The top one, yeah, the one she just highlighted. I'm just trying to figure out what, when grants come before us, sometimes we don't approve them before you apply, and other times we do. I just a little note, since it's back, the Arbor Day, just send out the Arbor proclamation to the council in case anybody has any concerns. We've always tried to let people know and let council know there's one coming. Do you think we should just wait on doing anything further on the 5th until we have more information on all these? Or do we have enough to go on these? I mean, they're straightforward, maybe. We have to do these.
Right. More information on what, Mayor?
Well, go up to the study session part of it. That's really the only thing that's in flux, right? So we don't know about historic preservation, that might move. Budget stuff, that that's going to be there. Those are the only 2 items, right?
Correct.
Okay. Do we know how long you want to have for the forecast review?
I don't.
Okay, well, we'll find out next week, right? Or the weekend. Yeah, next week.
All right, ready to go on to the next meeting?
Yes.
All right, you have the city attorney interviews in a special meeting, I believe, on April 12th. And then.
And 13th. So we picked the date for the 13th, right?
Right.
So can everybody be made aware of that now? I just want to make sure they can't have one person gone. And Steve's new to this too. You want me to send something out, or can you all?
Yeah, we can do that.
Just a heads up, at April will be the 12th and the 13th for interviews.
Okay. Yeah, Stephanie, are you all putting all of these, I mean, like the council meetings on who's going to be updating Steve's calendar?
That's the calendars are typically coordinated by Krista.
Okay.
I emailed her about getting a council resource guide out to him, and I'm working with IT to get him all set up on everything. But yeah, calendar would be through Krista.
Okay. I'll
Yep.
work with her on that.
Okay.
And then who's working on getting him set up in payroll? That would be me, I guess, for his paychecks.
Yeah, I believe Krista has done that in the past as well.
Okay, great. All right, so Mayor, do you want to go on to the 19th?
Sure.
April 19th, Citizen of the Year nomination selection. We have exactly 0 nominees as of yesterday. Organized garbage, and by the way, that's supposed to close at the end of March, so hopefully people will come in. We've really been pushing it hard. We have an organized garbage and recycling collection request for proposals, content review. That group will need to select a new chair because Steve Ward has been the chair of that. We'll need to have a motion for the, I don't think this will be a motion, but strategic plan dashboard and progress update will be there. And that's all we have for the 19th.
Sorry, Shawn, you said this wouldn't be a motion. Will this be a study session or?
Well, I'm reading the description. It says modifications, but we would have just done that at the previous meeting based on this list.
I believe it was the sustainability plan that was on a motion. So
No,
yeah, so we,
right there.
yeah, so sustainability plan was at the previous meeting, and then this will be the strategic plan update.
Okay.
Does that make sense? They're separate, right?
Yes. All right, moving on. We've got the 26th, my monthly financial update, and May 3rd, proclamation for Small Business Resource Expo. May 17th, Council Honor Citizen of the Year. May 24th, Board and Commission interviews. And then I was actually on the call last night after all, just on YouTube though, watching the meeting. I didn't hear any council requests. We have gotten a couple. Mayor, we got yours on the crosswalk question. I don't know. If
Okay, great.
clarification on that, but I think that's all we've got right now.
I did get another email from that person if you want me to send it along. It sounds like the conversation happened several years ago.
Okay.
So maybe just with
Yeah.
different staff. So it just might need a new look, right? That's a full screen. Files. Let's see. Where are we? I think I just lost my track on this screen.
Jade,
Sorry, are you not seeing the Excel
I'm seeing
sheet?
it now.
Oh, sorry.
We're on where are we though? We're on
We
April
actually
6th?
went through all of them.
Okay, we're done then.
Jade, what I was talking about on the April 5th meeting, on the 5th line, it says at the council retreat, council members provided suggested modifications to strategic plan. I think this is, maybe Tim has divided this up, but I'm going to ask him why. Because that should be the same thing as just the routine modifications we make, which would render that item on the on the 19th an information update only. But I'll get with him on that.
Okay.
Because we did some of that already, right?
I don't think we've done it yet because he does want to do it all at once as opposed to kind of piecemeal. He wants to do a quarterly update and a quarterly modifications, but do it in one item. So I just don't know why we have back-to-back items on the strategic plan. So I'll get with him on that.
Okay.
All right.
That's all we have.
Yep. I don't think there was any. Yeah, I think you're right. There weren't any council requests last night. So I think we're finished, right? Anything else?
That's all I've got.
Okay. It's 9:14 and this mayor manager meeting is adjourned. Have a good day, everybody.
Good day.
Thank you. Have a good day.